Welcome back to Making Money Matter, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Kerry Stevenson. I've asked Brian Chu to come back and have a chat with us. Why? Well, Brian is going to be speaking at the upcoming Gold Coast Gold Conference, which is here on the Gold Coast on the 13th and 14th of March. Go to goldevents.com.au to get your ticket while the early bird is still available. Now, Brian is the founder of the Australian Gold Fund. He is also the managing partner, I think I got this right, for Gold Hub Australia. And
Yeah.
last but by no means least, he's also the precious metals editor for Fat Tail Investment Research. Pretty much what Brian doesn't know about gold isn't worth knowing, but I wanted to bring him on in advance of the Gold Coast conference because he's speaking there and he's going to be talking about gold and property. So I wanted to give you, my beautiful audience, a little bit of a teaser, if you like, about what Brian's going to be speaking about, because right now, as we sit here talking to you, the gold price, or actually, I like to put it this way, your currency, your Australian dollar currency, is 46% less compared to gold than it was a year ago. Now, that's what I really need people to understand. Real assets will continue to create value for you, while your currency is going to be devalued by governments around the world continuing to print the silly money, or should I say the silly currency, until you guys are going to be in trouble. So we really want to educate you about precious metals, why I need you to come to the Gold Conference. But Brian, welcome back to Making Money Matter. Lovely to see you. And thank you so much for taking the time and making the effort to come up to the Gold Coast. Just if you could, I just want to understand where you see gold at the moment. Then I want to find out what you're going to be talking about at the conference. But gold's, as I just said a moment ago, 46% against the Australian dollar over just the past year. If I go back to, I've got data going back 20 years, but a lot of people will turn around to me, Brian, and they say, it's too expensive. And I often say, against what? And they can't answer that. But do you see it as expensive? And how do we, I guess, knock people's heads together and say to them, listen, this is money, everything else is credit?
Well, Kerry, I'm glad to be back, and I do look forward to the Gold Coast Gold Conference because it gives me another excuse to go up to the Gold Coast. I was there last year in Easter with my wife Cindy and my son Cyrus, and Cyrus enjoyed the beach during Easter. I don't think he can make it this time around because he's still at school, but I'm sure they would look forward to hearing about what we're going to do up there. In fact, my son, I'm gradually teaching him, and he's only 5.5 years old. I'm teaching him a little bit about inflation, and he's actually been watching a children's cartoon series called the Tuttle Twins, and his favorite episode is the inflation monster.
Oh,
If you don't know what the Tuttle Twins is, check out Angel Studios. It is a wonderful creation for children to understand about their rights, understand about the government system, sound money, why certain rules are not good, why certain laws are not good laws. So they learn to think for themselves.
oh, that's wonderful. So where do they watch it? Is it on YouTube or
Angel Studios. So
Angel?
you can get an app called Angel, the Angel app, and it's angel.com. So it's like YouTube, but it's a alternative, I think venture capitalist funded media channel to
Wow.
avoid the censors. Yes.
Hey, how good is that? And it's teaching them about, I guess, good money rules.
Good money, common sense,
Yeah.
thinking for themselves.
Mm.
I'm amazed that there are people who have put in millions of dollars uh, to come up with things like this. So that's something which I hope Cyrus will learn and get the benefit of, which I probably learned much later in life. Not too late, but going back to your many questions. I hope I answered them all. So the first thing is about gold. What do I think about gold being at about 40, almost 4,600 Australian dollars an ounce? And mind you, when I first bought my gold, when I first bought a gold bar, a 1 ounce gold bar in 2015, it was $1,500. So gold has tripled in the space of less than 10 years. And I don't believe that this is the end of it either. Now, some people, yes, they do ask me similarly, oh, gold's too expensive. It's now $4,000. It's now $4,500. I think I missed the train. And as like yourself, I also say to these people, think of it this way. Gold hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is the amounts of dollars and notes that you have to pay in order to buy the same thing. Is property, and that's one thing that I'm going to be talking about at the conference, are Australian properties overvalued because the price has gone up from the average Sydney property, the median property price in Sydney in 1989 was about $180,000. And the most recent ABS data, I think that goes back to the September quarter, the Sydney median house price is $1.4 million. So it's gone up by eightfold. Now, if you talk to me as recently as 4 or 5 years ago, I was a property bear. And when I first mentioned to Kerry that I was going to talk about property at the Gold Conference, and Kerry knew my position in property, she got a little bit scared and thought, look, are you going to be talking about property prices going down? Because I don't think that way. And I go, no, look, Kerry, I have changed my views. I believe that property isn't overvalued or is bound to crash. What's been crashing is the Australian dollar and all the fiat currencies.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I believe is worth discussing about on gold and property and value is who's going to win the race in the next 10 years. And the outcome could be quite different if you look at the race for the next 20 years, the next 50 years, etc. But one thing that I've learned in looking at the data is that property won the race up till about 2017, 2018. So from 1989 to 2017, property won the race for quite a long time. But from 2020 onwards, it was a very different story. The price of property largely stayed around the price of property did go up from 2021, 2022, but then gold caught up in a mad dash to the finishing line. And gold at the moment is actually ahead of property in the last 35 years. Now, does that mean sell your property and go and buy gold? I don't think so. In fact, why not both? And that's actually going to be the title of my presentation at the conference. So that's where I'm looking at it, is rather than ask about whether gold or property are overvalued and whether you've missed the boat, ask yourself, are those dollars in the term savings account, term deposit account, going to be anywhere near where gold and property are going to be and real assets in the next 10, 20, or 50 years' time? Are you going to put your cash underneath a pillow and expect to be able to buy the same things or even more in even 5 years' time? I hope you're not doing that, because it would be one surefire way to end up poorer than you are right now.
And I think that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure we got across today, Brian, is look, I often say to people, don't sell your house and your children and go all in gold or all in property. You've got to be a little bit diversified. But I think it's a really good thing that you just said, which is a lot of people that don't understand it think that it's complicated. Just leave their, I call it digits, their fiat currency, in a bank, because they can see the number. Now, let's just make it a nice round $10,000. They've got $10,000 sitting there. They feel comfortable because they feel that, I've got something for a rainy day and I can pay my bills, et cetera, et cetera. But what they don't realize, and this is something that you and I try to bang on about quite a lot, which is inflation and increasing devaluation of your currency is going to wipe that value from $10,000 today to in a year's time, it's going to be worth 5,000, if that makes sense. So it's the devaluation that we really need you to understand. And that's why I want you to come and listen to Brian at the Gold Coast Gold Conference. And we have some other great speakers there as well. But what Brian's saying is he was a bear with property. He sees it as a real asset now. This is where you have to make sure that you are making your fiat currency work for you and not against you, because working against you is keeping it in savings and hoping this will all go away. It's not going to go away. Brian, I'm going to leave the last comments for you, and people can come and talk to you at the Gold Conference up here on the Gold Coast, as I said before, 13, 14 of March. Go to goldevents.com.au. Buy your ticket now. We've got them for just $149 right now. But that price, we're going to be like an airline. As we get close to the event, the price goes up. So you need to book now. But Brian, last comments to you. Why should they sit up and take notice and be aware and get educated?
Yep. So think about my son who's 5.5 years old. We just had the Lunar New Year, and it's a Chinese tradition that you give red packets to your children and all that. So when we give red packets, I actually keep track of how much Cyrus receives from myself and relatives and friends. And in dollar terms, I also calculate in gold terms. And every so often, I go and buy him a gold coin or a gold bar, because when he turns 21, I don't want him to be holding a pile of literally monopoly money. And he'll look at me and go, "You saved up all this for me, and this is all I can actually buy." I actually want him to look at it and go, "Thanks, Dad, for looking after me. You've helped me stay ahead in the game." And that's why I think people should come to the conference, learn about not only how to protect your purchasing power with gold, but there are also mining companies there that you can learn a little bit more about, and perhaps down the track, if you like, to invest and speculate in them. I can also provide you guidance through my newsletter services at Factor Investment Research, and also my data provider services in Gold Hub Australia.
We're going to put the links down below, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to follow Brian, if you want to subscribe to any of his services, he does do a lot of deep diving and analysis into what he's looking at. Because yes, we have picked some of these companies because we feel that there's an opportunity, but you've got to do your own research and never listen to the barbecue mafia, and don't just assume that you know. What I want you to do is come and meet them face to face. Ask them the hard questions. And by the way, if you know nothing about investing in ASX listed mining companies, well, ask them to talk to you like you're a 5-year-old, because there are no dumb questions. And we encourage those that have no knowledge to come and get educated at the conference. So Brian, we're looking forward to having you there. Will you be there for the whole 2 days? Can people come and chat to you?
Yes, we'll be there for the whole 2 days, and I'll also have hopefully 2 interns with me who will do a bit of videoing, as well as a chance for us to get to know you better and to see what other services we can actually provide for you to create value for each other.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen him on the channel. Now come and meet him in person at Gold Coast Gold. We look forward to seeing you there. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button, share this with others, and go to goldevents.com.au, book your ticket, and I look forward to seeing you. I'll be there for the full 2 days as well, to your investing success. And thank you very much, Brian. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Kerry. Thanks, everyone, and God bless.